It is a new month, and that means it is time for some new goals, and I'm excited to do a March reset with you guys. So I have a lot of fun new goals on the docket for this month, and I can't wait to bring you guys along. If you're wanting to work on YouTube, maybe we can just do it together. So let's get right into today's video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new so you don't miss any of my updates. All right, y'all, let's get this March reset going. So if you're wondering why March, it's because I feel like the beginning of the year is always a little scattered, it's a little disorganized, and one of my main goals for 2025 in general is to be a lot more organized. So March isn't too far off from New Year, so I figured why not just focus on me this month, not in like a selfish way, but in a way that helps me get more organized, be creative, and also just more productive. So my very first goal for this month is to go ahead and try a yoga class. So I actually signed up a few weeks ago for ClassPass, and I'm excited to try out a bunch of the different yoga studios here in downtown Raleigh. So of course I'm going to bring you guys along for that, but it has been on my goal list for a really long time, and so this month I'm definitely going to tackle that. And to go along with obviously health and wellness, which is super important to me, I want to sign up for a local race. So I want to either do a 5K or a 10K. I'm not quite sure which distance I want to cover, but one or the other. If I can find one local here to Raleigh, that would be best. So I'm going to check out race calendars and see what I can find. Last on my health and wellness goals for March, I want to try to do some weekly challenges. So I thought it would be fun to keep them super simple, but maybe try 7 days straight of drinking 4 of my water bottles, 7 days straight of doing 50 push-ups, or anything kind of along those lines. I think would be a great way to just dip my toe into the challenge and see if I can actually stick to it. So 7 days of all kinds of different health and wellness challenges is definitely on my list for the month. Let's talk about some mindset and personal growth goals that I have on my list. So first things first, I obviously want to finish my book that I got at the library a few weeks ago. I actually have 1 week left to finish it. I'm on chapter 12, so I think I can do a few chapters a day and finish it by the end of next week. And then I can head back to the library and get a few more. I want to try to at least finish one other book in March, so that would make 2 books in the past, 2 months, which for me is pretty good considering I'm not a huge reader and it takes me forever to get through one. But I want to try to check out a personal growth book too, so maybe I can read that first thing and then maybe do some journaling with it. Speaking of journaling, my next thing, I want to get into junk journaling. That is on my goal list for sure because it has been one of my crafty hobbies that I've had kind of on the side that I have all of the supplies for. I just haven't actually started it. So I want to find a way to keep a lot of different little memories that aren't necessarily digital, but also just in the physical form in a junk journal. All right, and for goal number 3, I want to try to listen to some sort of personal development podcast every single day. So whether it's in the morning or at night, just sometime throughout the day, I want to get in at least 10 minutes of listening to it, just because I feel like feeding your brain obviously has to be good for everything. So anything from the Mel Robbins podcast or Jamie Kern-Lima, which I've talked about before, or a bunch of other ones. I'm definitely going to try to find a whole new playlist of podcasts to check out, but I want to listen to at least 10 minutes of one of those every single day. So now let's talk about the food side of things. I want to go ahead and plan ahead for meal prepping for each week. So not 7 days worth of food necessarily, but I at least want to knock out a few days of meals in advance. So if you've watched my vlog for any amount of time, you know we like to go to the grocery store pretty much every day, but I would like to change it up and actually do some meal prepping so that we can get some whole foods in and just make the whole process of what are we going to eat today a little bit easier. To go along with that, I want to make sure to try to stick to whole foods, maybe one ingredients as best as I can. So that's meat and produce, fruits, those sort of things, just to make, getting in healthier foods a little bit easier, especially with increasing my mileage with running. I think it'll be a huge help to eat whole foods as best as I can. All right, my second food goal of the month is to try a new recipe once a week. I'm not a huge cook or baker by any means, but there's all kinds of Pinterest recipes that I have saved that I want to try out. So I have some protein muffins that I want to try, and lots of sweets, of course, but also just some whole meals that I want to try out too. So one recipe a month is on the goal list. And that brings me to my very last goal for the month. I want to try to donate to one of the free little pantries here in downtown Raleigh. There's one right by us that I think just grabbing a few things at the grocery store every week and adding it to it would be really nice. We've done that before back in Hillcrest when we lived in Arkansas, and it's just a really good way to give back and to obviously help people who need it. And just grabbing a few things at the grocery store, since we'll be there regularly, is not hard at all. And maybe I can find some ideas on Pinterest too to put together little bags to put in there, but we'll find something. But I definitely want to add that to my goal list for the month, and maybe each month I can try to find some other way to donate, whether it's a animal shelter or a local charity of some sort, but some way to give back here in Raleigh. Alright, that is a wrap on my goals for March. I plan on keeping up with everything through using a habit tracker. I'll just make one in either Canva or in the Artful Agenda, which is like a digital journal that I have that helps me keep up with like my budget and calendar and all that. So I'll do either one, I'm not quite sure, but that'll help keep me organized and hopefully keep me on track for the entire month. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Hopefully this helped motivate you too if you have some goals that you want to tackle. Definitely comment down below and let me know what you plan on working on this month, and we can do it together. All right, y'all, that is all for today's video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.